Happy New Year, guys. I'm Dr. Jenny Liu, a board-certified dermatologist, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to share with you my predictions for some of the top skin and hair care as well as ingredients that will dominate in 2024. So if that sounds good to you, I would love it if you can give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. 2023 was an amazing year. I love all the new product launches last year, the ingredients, as well as concepts that was focused around skin and hair care. And I think we're gonna definitely continue that into 2024. This year, it's gonna be just as great, if not even better. Starting off with trend or prediction number one, exosomes. This is buzzword status and super trending right now and gained a lot of attention for their potential in regenerative medicine and skincare. If you're not familiar with exosomes, these are essentially tiny cellular vesicles that are excreted pretty much by all living cells, all the way from skin cells to stem cells to fibroblasts. Initially discovered back in the 1980s and thought to basically be a mechanism for excretion of cellular waste, we now know that exosomes houses important material like peptides, amino acids, messenger RNA, nucleic acids, lipids, and other cellular metabolites that are crucial for cellular signaling, cellular communication, and ability to stimulate cells to regenerate themselves, to repair themselves, and potentially to slow down cellular aging. So in some ways, you can think of exosomes as like modes of transportation, like cars, planes, and ships, and transport various different things from people to animals, cargo, furniture, cars, what have you, but are very important and essential in communication, regeneration, and repair. And what's also really fascinating is that in laboratory studies, when they looked at various methods of stimulating cell regeneration, comparing to like stem cells, which are cells that have the ability to replicate over and over again and regenerate itself, and also have the ability to divide into different types of cells, when exosomes were compared to derivatives of stem cells, interestingly, exosomes had higher potential and was more powerful at stimulating fibroblasts at regenerating itself, but also stimulating fibroblasts to produce extracellular matrix like collagen and other important structural proteins in the skin, and also prolong fibroblast lifetime, if that makes sense. Basically, reducing fibroblasts' ability to age. So in some ways, you can think of exosomes communicating or training your cells to behave like they were younger. And this ability to mimic youthful cell behavior could potentially revolutionize anti-aging treatments. Now, do keep in mind that exosome therapy right now is not FDA approved. And in practice, what is really best done right now is complementing in-office procedures. So after laser or microneedling, exosome therapy usually comes on as ice or cooled, and so when it's applied on the skin, number one, it really provides instant comforting from those resurfacing treatments and may expedite healing. Two, after those resurfacing treatments, when the skin barrier is somewhat disrupted, it enhances the penetration of the topical exosome and may overall improve the treatment results. And there are definitely a few brands on the market currently that is really gaining popularity in 2023, and I feel like this trend will continue into 2024, including one called Anteage MDX Exosome Solution that is meant to be used in professional settings, often applied on the skin after like a microneedling or resurfacing procedure. And this solution contains exosomes derived from human bone marrow cells. Now, as far as exosomes in skincare, I think this is definitely an area I personally would like to see more studies and literature about the formulation and their efficacy when it's applied just on the skin without treatment and how well they work. But definitely, there are a few brands currently on the market that has exosomes formulated in their products. As far as exosomes in skincare, there are definitely a few on the market and they're not cheap. The ones I could find includes a DP Derm Exo-Skin Exosome Therapy, that's $210. Dr. Barbara Sturm, Exo-Metic face serum that's $510, and then plated intense serum that's $267. So definitely not cheap and hard to tell from their website where the exosomes are derived from. So because exosomes are secreted by all cells as well as body fluids, I forgot to mention this earlier, but you can find them in blood, breast milk, amniotic fluid, commonly used in skincare and regenerative medicine. Usually they're derived from some sort of stem cells or bone marrow cells. So you can see there is a potential and concern for their novelty and ethically where they're derived from. So definitely I think more research needs to be done on their efficacy when it comes to skincare formulation and how we can more safely and ethically harvest exosome. But it's an exciting ingredient, and definitely there is even use beyond skincare. We talk about exosome therapy and wound healing and potentially helping with hair thinning. So definitely something really exciting to look forward to in 2024. All right, moving on to trend or prediction number 2, which is regenerative skincare. So a paradigm shift from anti-aging to pro-aging, or what I like to call it, aging more gracefully and focusing on our skin's natural ability to repair and regenerate itself. And really central to this is the concept of regeneration, and also the fact and this concept that we really want to just make one look more refreshed, achieving natural and realistic results instead of trying to focus on something that is just not achievable and then making someone at the end looking very unnatural. And along with that, and what I mean is, instead of overfilling the face with like fillers and trying to make someone in their 40s look like their 20s, really honing in on treatments that can deliver more natural looking results, because we're focusing on one's skin's own ability to regenerate and repair itself. So it's going to look more natural and you're going to age more gracefully. And I feel like this concept is definitely being popularized by many dermatologists and professionals who treat patients aesthetically, but also concepts that I think are being more desired by the general public. In the sense, when I see someone for a cosmetic consultation, I think the biggest concerns I always get is, I do not want to look unnatural. I do not want to look overfilled. You know, everybody has different desires and have a different look in mind, but I would say more people are wanting to look more natural. And that's usually what I tell my clients too, is my goal for you is to make you look like you, but refreshed. Like when you go out for brunch with your girlfriends, for example, they're gonna say, oh my God, what did you do? Did you cut your hair? Did you color your hair? Something looks different in a good way, but they can't quite point to it. And that is really the goal for me when I'm treating someone aesthetically. And also part of this concept is focusing not just on the surface level changes of the skin, so no longer just the dullness and the fine lines, you know, the flaking, the texture changes, but also appreciating that when skin ages, it's all 3 levels, the epidermis, dermis, and fat, right? And a lot of the scaffold, the structure that gives our skin firmness and elasticity and that lifting effect is in the dermis and deeper, and using technology as well as ingredients that really focus kind of in that middle and deeper layer of the skin, helping to restructure the extracellular matrix. The scaffold that gives our skin structure is also kind of the focus of this regenerative skincare. So really using treatment and products and ingredients that's going to over time deliver these results. So it's not something that's going to be of instant gratification, but whether it's laser or microneedling or using certain peptides or growth factors that really over time, you know, we're talking about 6 months or even longer, that's going to stimulate your body's own ability to repair itself, regenerate new collagen and elastin and support structure. So over time, it's going to be more of a, what I call delayed gratification. So as I mentioned, microneedling and laser, a lot of the resurfacing treatments are really part of this regenerative skincare. But what about products, ingredients? Well, for one, I think exosomes, as I mentioned earlier, can have huge potential as we learn more about its application in skincare. But we actually do have quite a few skincare products that already exist, and I think more will come in 2024 and going forward. So these ingredients really focus on like the dermis, the middle part of the skin that really provides skin structure, providing firmness and elasticity. So these ingredients often include like peptides, growth factors, as well as other ingredients I mentioned earlier in my previous video, like Proxylane from L'Oreal, that really all focus on the middle part of the skin and helping to clean out like the sun damaged, broken collagen and elastin that sits there and really contributes to aging skin. And then at the same time stimulating our skin's natural ability to create new scaffolds and support structure, collagen and elastin, to create more youthful, firm, and bouncy looking skin. Now, one product that really has been recommended by dermatologists and certainly is not cheap is from SkinMedica, their TNS Recovery Complex. This is one product, if you're looking for something that does contain growth factors that has been shown in clinical studies to help do those things I mentioned earlier, is worth investing. It's not for everyone, but for that individual who's looking to take their anti-aging or pro-aging skincare to the next level, I think this could have a potential in your routine. And TNS is a patented technology by SkinMedica that stands for Tissue Nutrient Solutions, that essentially contains over 380 growth factors and cytokines that have been clinically shown to help improve fine lines, wrinkles, uneven skin texture, skin tone, as well as improve skin firmness. Another brand from Anteage Pro System that basically contains various different ingredients, including antioxidants, peptides, cytokines, and other nanotechnology that again is supposed to basically do what we mentioned earlier, kind of go beyond the surface of the skin to really help to improve the support structure of the skin. So overall, you're gonna get more youthful looking skin. All right, trend number 3 is focus on body care. And I love this. I mean, already in 2023, we've seen quite a few brands coming out with body specific skincare products, and I think in 2024 we're going to see a lot of that happening. For one, I think many individuals really experience using at home, body care products, kind of giving that in-home spa experience, if you will. But 2, I think the concept of aging on the skin is catching on. Like, it's no longer just the face, everywhere ages, and a lot of the times because we're so focused on facial aging, other parts like neck and chest and hands are neglected, and they can age just as fast, if not faster. And that difference between the skin texture on neck and chest and face, because we're so good about taking care of our face these days, it can be very compelling and often can give our age away. And so I love the fact that many individuals are paying more attention to these areas that were once neglected. And we see this in Sephora. The body care section is continuing to grow. And a lot of brands, like I said earlier, already have body specific products. Like, for example, Naturism and Verse both have launched body specific retinol products. And then Necessaire also have a body specific serum that can help to target uneven skin texture and skin tone on the body. So I think in the future, there's going to be way more body products that's going to help address crepiness, hyperpigmentation, keratosis pilaris, and more. And this is really nice because number one, not that you can't use facial products on body, but you kind of worry about the concentration because, like, for example, retinol, when it's formulated in a jar for facial use, it's really intended to be used on your face. And for larger body surface area, you certainly get concerned about the concentration. And not that it's unsafe, but just the fact that when it's formulated for the body, it's gonna be way more appropriate. And 2, often facial skincare products come in such a small volume that you're gonna go through that more quickly. And body care products, they're definitely gonna be more economical and intended for widespread use. So you're definitely going to get something that you won't run out in just like a week or 2 when you're using facial care products on body. So definitely expect more body care products coming in 2024. And even just in the past couple of weeks, a few brands have already launched body specific products. Like, for example, Rare Beauty just came out with a body line, and then Youth to the People also launched a new body care collection as well. Trend number 4 is scalp care, and I'm so passionate about this topic and really happy to see that this is going to be trending in 2024. I mean, I'm so passionate about scalp care that I actually made a series of videos on YouTube as well as on Instagram and TikTok talking about the importance of scalp care when it comes to growing fuller hair and healthier hair. Now, if you think about it, scalp skin is skin. It's just slightly different than our facial skin because the abundance of oil glands and hair follicles. But also keep in mind that hair growth starts within the scalp, and the health of our scalp is very important to growing hair. And when we neglect scalp health and only focus on ways to stimulate hair growth or how to keep our hair healthy, you're really not maximizing your full hair growing potential. And really core to this concept is inflammation that can impact scalp health and its scalp's ability to grow hair. What I mean by that, we think about inflammatory conditions like dandruff and psoriasis, where there's actually obvious rash and flaking and itching. And we actually know from studies that these conditions does reduce hair growth. The term is actually called psoriatic alopecia or psoriasis-induced hair loss. And I see this clinically. Patients that have really bad dandruff and psoriasis, they'll definitely lose hair either specifically in that area or all over if that dandruff or psoriasis is diffuse. And that inflammation can be very subtle, even in female and male pattern hair loss, so androgenetic hair loss. When we biopsy the scalp in those areas, we actually see microinflammation under the microscope that we know actually contributes to that type of hair loss. So really, inflammation is really the biggest enemy when it comes to growing healthy hair. And that inflammation can be from various different sources, like even as simple as sebum oxidation. So oil on our scalp that is produced by our oil glands that really is meant to be a protective layer on our scalp and hair. But if it's too much in excess, oxidative stress from UV radiation can create inflammation that yeast can feed on it and lead to dandruff. But even if you don't have dandruff, if that oil sits on your scalp over time, it is definitely a source of inflammation that basically can impact your overall scalp health, your scalp microbiome, that over time can definitely impact hair growth. This is why, as dermatologists, when we see individuals who come in for hair thinning, we often will prescribe ketoconazole shampoo or recommend zinc pyrithione shampoo over the counter, even if they don't have dandruff. And that is because these ingredients have been shown to reduce inflammation by, number one, cutting down on malassezia yeast, which is the biggest source of inflammation on our scalp, along with sebum that can contribute to oxidative stress. So by keeping the scalp healthy is really the first step when it comes to growing hair. I feel like in the past, there's so much focus on ways to stimulate hair growth, like rosemary oil or minoxidil, but really neglecting that scalp health, which is really key because, as I mentioned, hair growth starts within the scalp. It's almost like putting topical retinol on skin to help with anti-aging concerns. When the skin barrier is damaged, you're not going to get anywhere. You're only going to make skin barrier worse. And so we need to kind of almost like take a step back and, first of all, keeping skin healthy, and then working on concerns of like fine lines and wrinkles. So it's kind of like the same analogy. We've got to keep our scalp skin healthy, and then we can focus on other things, whether it's just growing stronger, healthier looking hair, shinier hair, or actually trying to really maximize hair growth for those who are experiencing hair thinning. And we already have seen quite a few products like body care launched in 2023 that are focused on scalp. So not just shampoos, but pre-wash treatments, exfoliants, as well as serums. And I think that trend is definitely going to continue into 2024. But furthermore, we're going to see more selections tailored to various scalp types, scalp needs, and concerns. So not just like oiliness, but also maybe products that are hydrating and helping to address various different concerns that we all have. And along that line, I predict salicylic acid is going to be huge in scalp care. I personally love salicylic acid. I have it in many of my shampoos, serums, and treatments because it's great at, number one, reducing malassezia yeast, reducing sebum buildup, helping to gently exfoliate while reducing inflammation. And so I feel like more brands are going to heavily utilize salicylic acid in their hair care and scalp care. And if you're looking for few great salicylic acid based scalp treatments. One I really recommend is from the Inkey List, their salicylic acid oily scalp treatment that is essentially a pre-wash exfoliating treatment that you will apply on your scalp, and then you jump in the shower and wash that off. It contains 2% salicylic acid as well as panthenol that's hydrating. So overall, a great scalp treatment to use. And again, just like facial exfoliants, you don't want to overdo it. At most, like once or twice a week, depending on your scalp type. And in general, these type of exfoliating treatments with salicylic acid is better suited for those that have more like flaky, oily scalp, dandruff prone, that needs kind of that type of additional exfoliation to remove buildup. If you have more eczema prone, dry scalp, this is probably something not that you can't use, but you definitely want to just limit the use. Another pre-wash treatment that I think is lovely is from Briogeo, a relatively new launch from them. It's their Scalp Revival Charcoal Plus Tea Tree Build-Up Detox Spray that, again, you spray on your scalp before you wash your hair. And this contains a blend, a triple acid blend of alpha, beta, and polyhydroxy acid that goes in to gently exfoliate, remove dead skin buildup, sebum buildup, and product buildup, but also contains humectants like hyaluronic acid and sodium PCA that helps to hydrate your scalp and keep the scalp moisture barrier balanced and in check without overdoing it. And then also contains charcoal that also again helps to temporarily soak up some of the excess sebum. Really ideal if you're like me that have more oily scalp. Again, the key here is not to overdo it. Use it like once a week before you wash your hair. All right, last but not least, trend number 5 is better sunscreen filters. It has been over 25 years since our FDA has approved sunscreen filters, and we know that more people these days desire wearing elegant sunscreens, and people will wear sunscreens on a regular basis if they're elegant. And with the wave of sunscreens that trends from Europe and Korea, they not only have more elegant sunscreens, but better filters, especially more stable filters that blocks against UVA radiation, which is what we're lacking here in the US. So I definitely feel that the FDA, they have heard our needs and our demands. And so I definitely feel there's gonna be better sunscreen filters that is gonna be approved that we can use in the US. The problem with the filters from Europe and Asia is that we certainly can purchase them online, but because they're not FDA approved and recognized, brands in the US can't use them to formulate sunscreens, and we can't have them be sold in drugstores. That's gonna be more affordable and accessible to the general public. So with more sunscreen filters being approved, that means US brands can use them and formulate our own elegant sunscreen that can be sold in drugstores that is more easily accessible and again, more affordable. So I definitely think there's going to be things happening this year, hopefully soon, so that way we can all have just easy access to more elegant and affordable sunscreens for all. Alright guys, so those are my top 5 predictions for 2024. Let's see if I'm right. But if you have any questions or concerns, comment below or let me know what your predictions are for skin and hair care this year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.